What's up, YouTube? Brian Van Dyne here. Today I wanted to do a review on some Harbor Freight tools. In particular, out of these two ratchets, I'd like to do a review on this 3/8 drive flex head. It's an Icon. Here's the ratchet. In this review, I'm going to be comparing it to a couple other ratchets that I have, and I'll just show you the ratchets. That way you know what I'm kind of comparing them to. Then I can give you some honest feedback from a business owner slash, I guess you could call me a heavy duty mechanic, since I'm working on commercial vehicles and equipment such as a John Deere 330, Hitachi 50. I had a International Harvester TD7C. Just a couple of the pieces of machinery that I've owned. And anyways, I'd like to do a review on this ratchet. I've owned it for quite a while, and I have beat on it pretty good. I believe I've owned this for a full year, if not pretty dang close. I decided to go with this ratchet. Well, for one, when I looked at this, I was like, man, this seems like pretty decent quality ratchet. And I'm comparing that to an assortment of other ratchets that I've owned. Let me just pull out a couple so you can kind of see what my comparison is based upon. So there's 4 ratchets right there. Oh yeah, this one's the Stanley one. So notice, Stanley ratchet in a cobalt tool case, because I broke the ratchet. I still have the 1/2-inch drive from this toolkit. I've owned this toolkit for 12 years. It's kind of like an anniversary present from my wife. Like a 1-year anniversary. I bought it for myself, with my wife's permission. So let me just talk about some of these other ratchets that I have. I have another Stanley right here. I do have a Mac ratchet. It's in one of the dump trucks. Here's a Power Torx ratchet. This is a pretty old one, I believe. GM8263. I don't know if they still make these or not, to be honest with you. And then I have a Pittsburgh ratchet, which, believe it or not, still works pretty good. And it is missing one of the screws. I don't know if I should take that to Harbor Freight and see if I can get them to warranty this or not. I'm sure they would. I don't see why they wouldn't. Then here's another type of ratchet that I own. My grandpa gave to me. It's kind of an interesting ratchet because it's kind of a high speed. And then you can flip it and go the other way. It is very clunky though. I gotta be honest. This thing is really, it's a very bulky tool, this ratchet. This one does not get used very often at all. Mainly because of the fact that if I need a ratchet that's fast, I'm not grabbing this. I'm grabbing this Milwaukee. which I have it locked, the trigger locked. I'm grabbing this, or as you can see already, I'm grabbing this DeWalt with the Quinn socket on it, Harbor Freight socket. I have owned these sockets for, I don't even know how long I've owned these for, but I haven't owned them as long as I've owned the Cobalt set for. And I'll tell you what, the Quinn set is a million times more superior in my mind than the Cobalt set, based on the sheer fact yeah, you can read what size that is. Good luck reading that size. I love the deep engraved sockets. The ones that are laser etched, it looked cool when I bought it. I'm like, oh yeah, laser etched, that's cool. No, it's not. It really sucks. Honestly, it's one of the stupidest things tool makers have done to tools is laser etch them. It's pointless. You can laser etch them and they're nice to look at when they're all clean and new. But once you start using them, laser etching is pointless because you'll never be able to read the sockets ever again. If you actually use your tools, I should say. If you actually use your tools, especially in like a heavy duty application like myself, laser etch tools are pointless. Let me drive this point home real clear. Yeah. Every single one of these sockets on this performance tool, all of the labels are facing forward. You can't read any of them. Luckily, I've been around tools since I was, 8 years old. I'm 35. I can just grab one and be like, oh yeah, 9/16. I can just look at it and know, right? Because I've been around tools that long. But when my son is helping me, I'm like, hey, grab that 9/16. He's going to end up getting yelled at because he ain't going to be able to read the laser etching. Here's a classic example. Boom, Pittsburgh. Engraved, not laser etched. You can still read it. Even once it's dirty, you can still read it. Laser etching is pointless. Tool manufacturers, stop doing laser etching. Please. Anyways, back to the tool review. Done ranting about the laser etching. I'm sure people have been trying to drive that point home for decades. The tool manufacturers, some of them get the hint and some of them just don't get it. They're more concerned about cutting costs and providing a very entry-level tool that nobody's ever going to really pass on or use to any significant degree. So, back to this ratchet. After 1 full year, it does have a slight give to it, and then it gets stiff. I mean, it's still pretty solid though. It's just in the main position, it's getting to be a little loose, which is to be expected. If you look at the abuse that this thing has taken, I've used this as a hammer. I've used this. I haven't really used it as a pry bar, I guess. You can't really use a ratchet as a pry bar. But I have really put some abuse on this For a tool to start losing its finish like that, that's how you know it's been used. Let's see if you can see that. This tool has been used and used and used. As you can see, the handle is just completely filthy. Let me just clean it. Let me just clean it real quick so you guys can see how this handle has been holding up to all the abuse. Just take some brake clean here. I normally don't take the time to clean my tools, the handles, because they're just going to get dirty again. Let's be honest. I'm working out in the field. I'm not working in a heated shop with 10 bays. You know, that's not happening in my lifestyle at the moment. You can see icon. It's got some battle scarring right there from being up against some sharp edges. I can honestly say I did not think I was going to like this rubberized coating on this. I did not think I was going to like it. I'll be 100% honest with you. The first time I used this Pittsburgh, I was like, that looks so stupid. I am not buying a plastic coated handle. Give me the all metal handle is what I was thinking in my head, you know. But there have been times where my hands have been so greased up, and I'll put some pictures in right here. That this handle, all slick, is just uncontrollable. With the amount of grease I've had on my hands, yes, I try and wear gloves. No, they do not last through the whole day. And I'm not willing to replace gloves every 15 minutes when I'm working on heavy-duty applications. I just need to get the job done. And so I will say these get very slippery. There's no knurling on these. That is one of the biggest pluses, I would say, with my Mac wrench that I do own. This Stanley, as you can see, it's very shiny. This Stanley I have owned for a considerable more amount of time. I don't know if you can see the amount of scratchiness. One's shiny and one's dull. This one's been in this box for probably, I want to say I've had this in here for probably 3 years. So the Cobalt lasted me 9 years before I broke it. One thing I will say, when you move this anvil, I think that's what it's called, anvil, there's not a whole lot of play in there. There is a little bit. Nothing compared to this Stanley, right? Especially nothing compared to this Power Torx. This whole thing, I don't know if you can see that, but even the backside wiggles. I don't know, that's just the design of it, I guess. This Power Torx is one of the sloppiest tools. I never reach for this ratchet because of the pure fact that it's so sloppy. I don't even know why I bought it. I think I bought it because I was out in the field and I didn't have a ratchet on me, and my wife was like an hour and a half away, so I'm like, screw it. O'Reilly's is right down the road. I'm going to buy the cheapest one so I can get the job done. Boom, done. You know, and it's just been, I've had it ever since. I mean, I've used it a couple times, obviously. You can see it's kind of beat up, but nowhere near this Stanley. Especially nowhere near the abuse that this has taken. In the last, I don't know, since I've owned this, this is my go-to ratchet. This ratchet, along with this Icon ratchet. These two ratchets, these two 3/8 drives ratchets, are my go-to ratchets currently. It was this Power Torx for the longest time. You can see there's grease and gunk all over it. It's not very shiny anymore. The chrome is starting to wear off and it's turning slightly goldish. You can see how loose this flex head is. And this is a locking flex head. So this one is the old one. Let me just put this in the straight up position. See the amount of play? This is the old one. This is the new one. Significantly less play. Obviously, I've had this one less. See that? I can shake this one. Right? So this one has taken some serious abuse. This is the Power Torx GM 6179 from O'Reilly's. I have abused the heck out of this. I loved it. That's why I bought a second one. And then I was at Harbor Freight and I was like, you know what? I'm going to give these Icon tools a try, just for the sheer fact that everybody, you know, in the stuck-up tool community is like, oh, Harbor Freight this, Harbor Freight that. You know, I'm like, you know what? I've never had a problem with Harbor Freight tools. I've owned several of them, and they've generally never broken unless I've significantly abused them, right? Look at the battle scar on this. The metal is literally chipped off. I don't know what that was from. There's another serious battle scar on that metal. No, I don't throw my wrenches around. Every now and then they fall off trucks and stuff. But I don't intentionally abuse my tools. This is one of my favorite Power Torx ratchets. It's the slim head. I mean, look at the size difference of these two 3/8 drives. This one, I'll tell you what. I grab this one when I need to get into a small spot. But it's not very often. Honestly, this normally gets the job done. I will be purchasing a 3/4 inch drive Icon extended ratchet. I have been purchasing these Power Torx ones for quite some time. I own 3 of them. Right? This is the oldest one. It's actually broke. I need to see if they'll take it back. I just haven't had the time to do it. The one that's broke is GM 6184. The 6517. These are 120 tooth. This one does not say the tooth count on it, but it is broke. Like I said, it still works, but it is severely damaged inside. Let me just show you what I mean by that. So it turns, and then if you put the wrong angle on it, of course, let's see if it even does it. It's locked up. It's something inside the mechanism is wore out. You can see it's been damaged. Probably from me abusing it, putting too much torque on it. When I should have grabbed a 1/2-inch drive, I grabbed the 3/8 drive. It's what I had next to me. And when you're working on these dump trucks, you're going up, down, up, down, up, down, underneath, out, underneath, out, underneath, out when you don't have a helper. And you cannot afford to just get out and grab a tool every single time. Sometimes you just got to make with what you got, make it work because you're running against the clock. The time, the daylight is disappearing and the truck needs to roll tomorrow. So it's got to get done. So sometimes you just use what you got. Luckily, my son is getting a little bit older. I'm able to have him be my little gopher. He can go and go for this part, go for that part. Yeah, see, it's locked. Unless you tilt it at the right angle and then it. See that? It won't move. There it goes. The teeth on the inside are just toast. So I will be buying an Icon branded extended 3/8 ratchet. I just haven't done it yet. I'm very happy with this tool. This is the R2FG. Anyways, just thought I'd do my little review on it. It's kind of drawn out. I will be reviewing this ratchet 3/8 drive. I absolutely love this tool also. Check out the review. It will be on the channel on the tool reviews playlist.